Okay, so here we are, a bit later, and the prompt is asking me in what app I want to open up my video, so I'm going to scroll until I see video physics. Sorry, I just passed that. So I'll click on video physics, and here we go. So I'm going to have to fast forward my video until the actual drop. Let's see where that happens. Right about there. Okay, so here I go plotting my okay. First point, oh dear. Second point. And I'm trying to click on the exact same place on my object every single time. So I've chosen the midway point, or just about like the top of the board shorts. You want to make sure that you have something that you can clearly identify, because if you try to just click the center of mass of your object and you have to make an assumption every single time, the experiment or the tracking is just not going to work very well. So definitely pick the point before you start. Oh, look at gravity. Look at that delta y changing more and more every second. But you're definitely going to have to use something that is visible. So if there is a point that you're choosing, make sure that it's visible in every single clip. If it's not, choose somewhere else, because that is not going to produce a nice graph for you. Look at that beautiful delta y. I love this. Okay, so again, choosing the very top of the board shorts every time. So my question that I'm going to ask in my video is, with what force does my object hit the water? I'm thinking in my head about one time when I hiked up Mount Oli Falls in high school and I jumped into the waterfall, and I didn't land correctly and the back of my thighs slapped the top of the water, and I was completely bruised from my tailbone down to the tops of my ankles for about a week and a half. So I'd consider that to be quite a bit of force. So I can't imagine what this amount of force feels like. So I'm going to have to set my scale. So again, this is one of the sources of error. So I think this little boy right here was about, I think this is about a meter. He was a little small. I'll say that's about a meter. Okay, I'm going to choose, yep, the X and Y origin. I'm going to move this so that the origin is going to be right where the jump happened. Okay, so I've set my origin and scale. Okay, this is a preliminary image of what the graph is going to look like once I export this. And this looks pretty good. Yeah, this looks pretty good. So in video physics, when you press that button, you can see what the graphs are going to look like. So this is before I exported the graph into graphical analysis, because notice how even though it displays the graphs, it doesn't give me any option to do a line of best fit. So look at your graphs. If they don't look how they're supposed to, remember the motion of the object should be visible in your delta x graph. So right now I'm looking at delta y graph. I'm looking at the delta y graph. This does look like the path that the object took. Looking at delta x, I'm like, okay, looks pretty constant, right? The slope of the x position looks pretty constant, so this looks usable. So then I'm going to click the button on the top right. I'm going to export the data file, and I would like to open that in graphical.